I guess let's just get this one out of the way. How's the quarterbacks looked early in camp?
They look good. Each of them have had their moments, right? We got a good room, quality depth, right, from top to bottom. The room's really good, and those guys get along. They're continuing to come along, right? You know, in spring it was about laying the foundation, and now it's about taking the next steps, and they're doing that, right? You know, one thing we focused on is taking advantage of every day, right? We don't have enough practices in fall camp. There's not enough days in the year to waste one, and I feel like we've taken advantage of every day and gotten better.
Lucas was here. You know, he knew the system. Have you seen from the time that Donovan's been there? Has he caught up to the point where you're?
Yeah, he's caught up. He's caught up. Yeah, and a testament to him. You know, his work ethic and how he approaches his business. He's really done a good job of you know, he knew that he was behind, right? He's really done a great job of catching up to speed.
In your mind, is one ahead of the other right now?
All I can tell you right now is that they're continuing to compete.
When do you expect to make a decision?
Yeah, that'll be up to Coach, right? You know, whenever he wants to decide that. But the competition right now has been really good, and those guys are pushing each other. So.
Are they still evenly dividing snaps?
Yeah, they're all taking an equal amount of snaps.
Tell me about Uwe Ali.
Yeah,
We don't know
Uwe.
much about him.
Yeah, not many people do. Not many people do. You know, I was out high school recruiting in the spring, and we knew we needed to add a piece, right? And we had a couple transfers come in and take official visits, and didn't feel good about those situations. And Uwe's film came across my phone. It's a funny story, actually. I was in the middle of nowhere, Louisiana, and I watched his highlight tape, and I'm like, okay, this guy can play. There's something about him. So I had one of our guys watch his game film, and it really checked out. So I flew out to LA and watched him throw, and then from there, you know, we got him on campus for an official visit. Uwe's he's done a really good job because he's further behind the other two because he's only been here for a summer. And he's done a good job catching up to speed as well. He's operating the offense as well. And he throws the ball accurately, and he's got a good feel for the game.
Did say he's running third team?
Yeah, he's running third team right now, and he's handling it well. Every situation he's been thrown into, he's been up for the task.
What steps would you like to see the guys take to now in game one?
Now in game one, I think, you know, we brought in quite a few new receivers, right? We got a good mixture of young guys that we had already had on the roster, and then added a few through transfers and added a few through, you know, signing high school guys. And so spring was about those guys figuring out what they could and couldn't do, right? So we can put them in position to be successful. And now, as far as the wideouts and the quarterbacks go, it's just continuing to play together and get on the same page, which I think they're doing a good job of.
Like, what have you just seen from the passing portion of the offense? You got some new parts at receiver.
Yeah.
Working in a new quarterback. Is that sort of starting to take shape a little bit?
It is. It is starting to take shape. I'm happy with where we're at. You know, it's never easy to replace a guy like Clayton Toon, who was pretty much a 5-year starter, right? And Tank Dell, obviously, you know, it's good to see those wideouts mature and develop a relationship with the quarterbacks, and the quarterbacks really feel comfortable with where we're at in the passing game. And I think we've cleared things up for them offensively a little bit. So, you know, I'm really proud of where those guys are right now.
We talked to you in the spring, but I'm curious, can you kind of give us an idea on maybe your ascension in terms of how this played out for you to get a bump this year?
Yeah, it's all about timing, right? You know, I felt like I've worked for Coach Holgerson for 8 out of the last 9 years. And even when I went to West Virginia as a graduate assistant, when Dawson went to Kentucky as the OC, he didn't replace Shannon with a full-time guy, right? So, and I was a GA at Kentucky, and Coach Holgerson hired me to come be a GA and work with the quarterbacks, right? And Dana was obviously involved. He was still calling the plays, but I got to drill them in Indy, right? And I got to script practice. I was thrown in the fire, and to be honest, I wasn't ready, right? But I figured it out real quick, and you know, I learned from one of the best. So it's really just continued to evolve our relationship and how much he trusts me, you know. And then the other piece is just timing, right? Before that, it never seemed to work out, and then it happened late with Shannon. He got a great opportunity, and you know, it just made sense to. Thankfully, it made sense to keep continuity with the offense.
So it seems like your moves have sort of coincided with Shannon in a way.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. We keep circling back, right? He's one of my really good friends, and it's funny how that works out. You know, you don't want him to leave, right? Because he's such a good friend, but then on the other, on the flip side of it, you know that there's potentially an opportunity waiting around. So, I'm glad it worked out for both of us.
Could you describe what you did last year? What was
Yeah.
in layman's, just for the average.
Yeah, it's hard to describe kind of like what my role's been. I kind of leave that up to Coach Holgerson to describe. He's alluded to it a couple times, but, heavily involved in game planning, right? Heavily involved in the structure of the offense. Just, kind of being a sounding board for him and Dawson and everybody else. And then as far as behind the scenes, putting together practice, scripting practice, the offensive looks, the defensive looks, making sure that all the game plan checks out. And, I think that doing that to the best of my ability put me in position to be where I am right now.
Will you be on the field?
That is yet to be determined. I think I'll be in the box, be Coach's eyes up in the box.
Has it been laid out what your involvement in game planning, play calling is going to be?
It has not. No, I think it's just continuity of what we've been doing. Me and him for 2 years in 15 and 16, I was Coach's eyes up in the box at West Virginia, and we had a good bit of success right there. And then I've been up in the box ever since we've been in Houston. So I would imagine that'll continue to be like that.
Mugabe coming in,
Yeah.
it changes a little bit, right?
Yeah, it does. Well, I mean, us three are kind of a three-headed monster as far as how the offense will work. So he's going to be on the field. Obviously his ideas in the run game and kind of where we've gone in the run game has been great for this offense. And me and him are working really well together. It'll be a mixture of us three kind of coming up with how we attack.
When you say his ideas in the run game, what are you talking about?
Yeah, just structurally, just how we're going to attack, the schemes we're running, right, how we're going to attack, how we want to formation people, as far as that goes. And that doesn't take anything away from anybody else in the room, because right now, here's what I'll tell you, right now it's a collaboration, right? It is a collaboration. You got guys like Corby Meekins, who have been doing this forever, called plays forever at Westfield. Mike Jinks has been a head coach and has great input on the offense. So it's really a total room and group effort.
Was there anything that stood out when, starting with the identifying process when you all went after Donovan, to sort of that whole involvement that sort of, y'all saw him last year, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it was definitely different to see him up in person, right, and kind of how he battled. He had a couple of turnovers in that game, but he kept playing and ended up coming out on top, right, even down whatever that last drive of the game to tie it up, to send it to overtime. So that was definitely interesting to see in person, and definitely made an impact on us going after him. The transfer recruiting is so different that you almost have to go after whoever you can get, right? But we lucked out in finding Donovan. Donovan was the one we wanted, right, and we got him, right? There's something about his film that his instincts, right, his creativity outside of the pocket. There's stuff that and I felt like because of the situation at Tech, they kind of had a loaded quarterback room for the last couple of years. I really felt like he was a guy that if he came here and we could sink our teeth into him, that he was going to be, he was just scratching the surface. He didn't play a lot of quarterback in high school, right? The guy's an athlete, he's a quick learner, he's a quick processor.